Hey guys, it's Becky here again at Aunt Beck's Creations, and I'm going to show you how I create the little boxes. This is going to actually be the base for my hop project, but I want to have the base done because it takes a little bit longer to do, and I don't want the hop video has to be 10 minutes or less and include my partner's project. So I'm going to make my base box with y'all today, and the reason I have all this out here isn't for the box. This is just showing you can use anything. This is the back of a Honey Nut Cheerios or Apple Jacks container. You know, inserts out of the cat food and dog food that separate the cans. You can see the circles on that one, but that would be all right. And then just like, I think this is shirt cardboard, but any of this cardboard, hang on to it and you can make a box. And this is going to be one of the boxes that, like an artist trading block, but mine's going to be an artist trading box. And you need 2 pieces for this one, 4 by 4 inches. And then you need 4 pieces that are 2 by 4 inches. That's for your sides and your top and bottom, because it'll stand up in this direction. Now, the reason I have this set aside, the other 4 by 4, is you need to cut an opening. Now, you can cut your opening using a die and have a shape, but keep in mind, the more intricate the shape, the more you're going to have to think about how to finish the edge on it. So what I'm doing for this one is I'm going to cut an inner square out of it. And see, I've already marked it on one side. This board is a little bit on the chunky side, so I'm having to cut on one side and then flip it over and cut again. So I was just going to show you how I did the marking for this. I mean, it's just basic stuff. I'm going to mark, and it doesn't matter if you use a colored marker because you're going to cover all this with paper anyway. You're going to come in 3/4 of an inch from each side. So that's at 3/4 and at 3 1/4. So 3/4 and 3 1/4. Then draw a line from dot to dot. And then you're going to do that from the other side here too. So 3/4 and 3 1/4. 3/4 and 3 1/4. And I'm going to try to do this on my cutting device here because it's got the little indication on it. We'll see what luck I have. Alright, let's see if we can do this. So I'm going to get this in here. First I want to make sure y'all can see what I'm doing. Yeah, you can see. And we're still recording. So, put it in there. There's a little indentation here in the bottom of the knife. You want to move this down until this little arrow thing that goes this way matches with your line there. And then we're just going to cut down until it meets that line. And I'm going to go up to this line, back down to this line a couple times. There we go. Then turn it. We're going to do that again. Got to match this up. It's easier if you start at the top. We'll see what luck I have with this. I'm basically making the front of this so it has an opening. So everything I do on the inside, there's a wire on this too. You line that up with your line. That you can peek inside and see the story inside the box. I'm not going to share that part of it with you until the hop. I'm not even going to tell you the theme of the hop. You're just going to have to wait. And that hop is going to be done with the Facebook group ABC Studio. And the C is spelt S-E-E. All right. So see, I did pretty good. Now we just got to cut to meet it on this side. And hope I'm close enough that it'll cut it right out. Let's hope. Might have some trouble at the corners. I've never done this before, so this is a learning process for me. And if you kind of leave that to match that line, then when you lay it down, it's ready to go. I'm learning. Now, will it pop out? Ha! Ta-da! So we're done with the cutting board once you've cut out all your pieces. It's a little rough, but it'll be all right. We're going to cover it with paper and stuff like that, so that might need to be trimmed away. That's a little off. It's got like part of the cardboard still. I'm not real worried about making a mess of this because, like I said, I'm going to have it covered. Anyway, now to put the box together, we are not going to install the front on the box right now. We're just going to do the base of the box. The reason for that is if you are going to paper the inside of your box like I'm planning to do, it's hard to work through this littler opening, okay? So what you'll do is you'll leave this off until you've gone through the process of papering the inside of the box. It's not really necessary to do the back of this unless you really, really want to paper it. But whatever you're going to treat your front, you're going to cut this and fold it to the inside anyway. And nobody's going to see this back side because it'll be back in like this. Okay? So let's just put the base of the box together. Now what I've done, my cutter's getting a little rough. You can see that, but that doesn't matter either. Cut some 1-inch strips, score it a 1/2 inch, and go ahead and fold them. These are going to be your reinforcements for the corners and the top and bottom and all to fit together. And I just cut a bunch of them and pre-fold them and have a pair of scissors handy and some glue, and we'll put this bad boy together. I really like Scotch Quick Dry, and I'm going to go as far as I can with what I have left. I'm running low on it. And I have tacky glue. I just like something that sets up real quick so I can just press on. That should get us going pretty good. I cut a full sheet of scrapbook paper down to do this. So, okay, you've got your back, a top, a bottom, 2 sides, okay? Go ahead and start at the top, put that one on, then just work your way around, okay? So what I do is I take this, you can use your paper trimmer even, we might bring that back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this at 4 inches and just cut it off. I'll do that a couple times. That way I don't have weird corners. Alright, so basically you get 2 pieces out of the 8.5 inch wide piece. So you can go ahead, and what I do is put a little glue along. See, I'm really just about out of this stuff. Might be too far gone. Okay, we're not even going to fight it. I'll stick that inside something. This is the Aleene's Max Tacky, and the reason I don't care for it as much as that other is it's really liquidy. You know, it's hard to describe. It makes a mess. I don't really care for this. I like the more tacky type glues. All right. So get that in there. This one we will meet with the edge of the 4-inch at the fold. Sorry guys, I think I'm trying to get sick, and it's not a good time for me to get sick. Have a lot to do at the other house. All right, so now what we'll do, this is the part that's going to be hard because this stuff doesn't set up very fast. It's Max Tacky, but it seems to take forever to set up. Set that in there. And because this is already folded, it'll kind of hold it at a 90-degree angle. All right, you can leave it like that. Now we're going to do this edge the same way, and you just keep working your way around. Now, you might find that you end up having to trim an edge off one of the sides or something, depending on the width of your cardboard. It's a little easier to fudge something if it's not very thick card. Okay. Now, on this corner, to stabilize that, you'll need a 2-inch strip. So let's cut a couple 2-inch strips here. You can do this with scissors, but I find I end up with kind of wonky, you know, where it's not smooth. You just add some glue. And you can see the box coming together. Now, I've done previous tutorials on how to do a box with a lid like this. If you want to go back and check them out. I might see if I can find them and put them in an iCard. I'm not used to this iCard stuff yet, so bear with me. Okay, now I need a couple more that are 4-inch. There's a squirrel coming up on the porch. I've been chasing them off. The other day I looked out and there was one of those green lizards was eating cat food. I told him, I said, "You're not a kitty cat." He stuck his tongue out at me. I don't think he believed me. Okay, and then I'm doing another 2-inch piece on the corner. Now, if you wanted to make it so you didn't have a bulky bit where the two overlap, you can trim your side pieces to stop a 1/2 inch from the end and kind of center it on your pieces, you can do that. And if you're making a bigger box, you will want to put the reverse of these on the inside. Like you'll want to put a piece on the inside here. Okay, that's just to make it very, very firm. But since this is just going to be a little pretty that you look at on a shelf, I am not worried about all of that. I don't like this bit that's like being a booger here in the corner. I might have to see if I can get my tweezers and pull that loose. There's a little piece there, and this is not wanting to do. All right, so we got one more 4-inch. Is this a 4-inch? Yes. I'm not using a whole lot of glue either, because if you use too much glue, then it oozes out all over the place and makes a real big mess. This just makes your box more sturdy if you add these strips. Okay, we'll slide that in there. Oh, this one's working out perfect. And then I need a couple more 2 inches. I wanted this one to be a little bit bigger than the ones I've made around Christmas time. I try to put some in the valley of the dip too, to kind of ooze into the middle of there. Now, if you were making a box that was going to have a lid instead of a front just attached to it, you would need to make it twice the thickness of whatever cardboard you're using. You'd have to make it twice thickness more in your dimension around. So instead of a 4x4, you might need a 4 1/4 by a 4 1/4 to make a top that'll slide down over the top of the box. Just saying, if you decided to do one like that. So now we've got a box put together, and once I've gone through the next step, which I'm not going to share today because it's for part of the hop, you'll do all of your paperwork or painting or whatever you're going to do to the inside first. And then you'll use your slips, the little things like this, and you'll attach this to the front once you have the papering done on the inside. You can still work through this hole to like add little characters, things like that, but anything that you want to glue down easily, I would go ahead and do it at this state. And then once all of that is done, to complete your outside, you can paint the back of this if you want to have a completely thing. But my idea is I'll probably paper the front, cut an X, fold this to the inside, and that'll cover up most of the inside that you're not going to see anyway. And then apply this to the front, and then I would complete my outside, whether it's just painting it or adding paper. And you'll also, if you want to, you could put it up on some little feet of some sort, like little wooden spools or something to stand up. You can decorate the outside. You can add a little scene to the top of it. I actually have one of these made. I'm not sure where it is at the moment. It's going to go to Gareth when I send his mason jar one, because the other person that I was supposed to send it to at Christmas dropped out of this exchange, so I'm going to just send it to Gareth. So anyway, that's how you make a basic box. if you want like a shadow box. You can make these any dimension you want. You can make this like only 1 inch deep if you want to. You know, you don't have to have it 2 inches deep. But my idea, I'm going to need a little bit of space for everything I want to shove inside this little thing. So yeah, that's a basic box. And like I said, if you wanted to make it to have a lid on it, you'd have to make it so that it would come over this edge. So twice the thickness of whatever you're using here would give it an ability to go out. And of course, then you'd have to add more sides to the top and then slide it down. In fact, I could do that with this, just make this a little bit bigger, cut my opening, and that would have been cool. And I could have put some plastic here and then just slid it on, and there would be a little seam inside. The only problem with that is the lid would fall off if I didn't make it so it slid all the way down. You know, you could put 2 inch sides on this and have it so it came all the way down to the bottom. And then all you'd have to do is paper over your box. But I've got an idea. I'm going to go with it just as this is now. And I hope y'all found that informative, and maybe we'll try a little box. Like I said, you don't have to make it out of this sturdy chipboard. You can use cereal box, any of that. As long as you put these little reinforcement of cardstock on the corners, it firms even the lighter weight stuff like this up. It would firm that up even. So thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.